As humans, we have an intrinsic need for stability, community, and neighborhood. All things which owning a property can provide. But as people flock to cities and seek certain neighborhoods, properties have evolved from a place where you simply call home to becoming a prized asset. In fact, home ownership is now seen as a desirable aspect of building wealth. And because of that, many people accept owning a home as an obligatory investment. Today, buying a home is one of the best long-term investments you can make. It's one of the most rarely disputed pieces of financial advice out there. And despite dramatic dips such as the housing crash and cyclical fluctuations, residential real estate all over the world tend to rise in value over time. And yet people think of real estate in a very negative light, usually as bad debts or a debt burden. It's a huge investment and you're stuck with it. And it becomes a source of lifelong stress. In fact, a lot of young people today generally don't believe in real estate and the benefit that it presents. Many consider it boring because they would rather park their money in other cooler and fun intangible investments, such as crypto or NFTs, because that is what is trending right now. We need to change that perspective. Because of all the investment options and instruments in the world, none of them are more stable and secure than real estate. And in my experience as a homeowner, investor, and real estate agent, the boring investments are usually much safer and easier to understand, and they are largely proven. Real estate has been around for hundreds of years and essentially the foundation of all wealth. In medieval times, lords and kings owned kingdoms that made them very, very wealthy. Today, 90% of the world's millionaires become millionaires by investing in real estate. Now, coming from a not-so-privileged background myself, there was one piece of advice which has had a profound effect on me, and it pretty much changed my entire life. It was the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. It helped me shift my way of thinking and my perspective from a poor mentality into a more investor-oriented mentality. Since I was 15, I was already interested in buying my first property. Of course, I didn't have the knowledge, information, or finances to do so. Hardly anyone does at 15. But it was that drive, that desire, that dream that would carry me on and fuel my passion for what I do today. I thought that the best way to start generating enough savings to own a home was to have a rewarding career. And so I went to university to get my bachelor's degree in communications. I landed a great job and began my professional career. I worked for 2 Fortune 500 companies, climbing up the corporate ladder in hopes to build enough wealth to start investing one day. I was saving slowly and surely, but it wasn't rewarding. One day, while having lunch with the CEO, I shared with him what I felt at the time, that I felt the corporate world just wasn't for me, and that some part of me knew that I was an entrepreneur at heart. I was so grateful he didn't talk me out of it. In fact, after our pep talk, where we discussed my strengths in marketing, communications, and selling, he suggested that I get into real estate. Real estate? My first thought was, who on earth is gonna trust a 24-year-old to help them make the biggest decision of their life on their 6 or 7 figure investment? I didn't have the confidence. but I was intrigued. Not so surprisingly, I got my real estate license a few years later. And since then, I have not only sold real estate, I have bought it, invested in it, and leveraged it to create more wealth and personal gain. I ended up purchasing my first property when I was 26 years old. It was $310,000. I saved some for the down payment and financed the rest. My first real estate purchase. It was a dream come true. The house itself, though, wasn't my dream home, but that's okay. It was an investment, or what I now call a forced savings account. It wasn't liquid, so whether I liked it or not, I was in it for the long haul. Fast forward 10 years later, this same property is now valued at $800,000. And during this time, I was able to pull $220,000 out in equity line of credit on this property, which I used, you guessed it, to buy another property. I have seen the positive impact and ripple effect that real estate has had not only in my life, but in the lives of so many others as well. I am a firm advocate for investing in real estate, and I'm here to tell you that you should be investing in it too. Let's discuss the benefits. While real estate may seem boring and old school compared to some of the most tech-savvy investments, it is simple to understand and is highly, highly effective. It is definitely less volatile than, say, cryptocurrencies. It is a stable and proven asset. Factors such as economic development and population growth drive prices up as particular areas become more desirable. This appreciation in value can offset other forms of investments that would be occasioned by inflation. And of course, when you own your own home, you have the ability to make it your own, to customize it, decorate it, to enjoy living in it, and of course, to create memories in it. But by far, the biggest returns in real estate is when you use it as an investment tool in itself. Here's what I mean. Investing in real estate opens up the option to use your existing property as collateral to secure more money and financing from which you can purchase or develop even more properties. This will allow you to grow your portfolio at a much quicker rate. People have known to buy and flip properties, which entails buying a property at a very low cost, making some repairs and upgrades to it, then selling it for a profit in a relatively short period of time. In addition, having multiple properties offers multiple streams of income, increased cash flow, and long-term financial benefits. If you're a real estate investor looking to convert one or even two properties into a strong portfolio, you can use the BRRRR method. That's quite a mouthful, yes, but also quite a pocketful. BRRRR stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. These are the steps an investor would take to grow their real estate portfolio. First, we buy. Then we rehab, renovate it, and upgrade to increase its value. We put it for rent, which will generate some income to pay down the mortgage. And then we can refinance it, take out a loan on the property, and repeat the whole process. BRRRR. Buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. This method results in creating a steady cash flow to bulk up your portfolio and ultimately enable you to become financially independent and financially free. This is what I've done with my first property. I bought it for $310,000, rehabbed it, rented it out, refinanced it, taking out $210,000 in equity, and repeated it by taking on another property. I earned passive income, which of course pays down my mortgage, and the value of the property has appreciated so much over these years, there's absolutely no way I would have been able to make that amount of money with a professional career, and certainly not in that amount of time. That's why I affectionately see real estate as my forced savings account. The best part is, you don't have to be extremely wealthy or even possess the whole amount to purchase your first property. You can put down anywhere from 5 to 20% or more of your own money and have the bank lend you the rest. You can invest just as much as you can afford. Don't expect to get your dream home the first time around. It can be just a home for now, or an investment if that's your plan, but a property nonetheless. Because in the end, it is much more logical to pay your own mortgage and have something to call your own at the end of it, instead of paying off someone else's mortgage as a rental. The importance of owning your own home is rarely disputed. It is one of the most basic and most repeated bits of financial advices out there. So if you're young, take advantage of the time you have and the benefits of appreciation. If you're older and wiser, use your experience and relationships you have in your arsenal to your benefit. Educate yourself today. Hire a financial advisor or consult a real estate agent to explore your options. There are many things to consider when investing for the future. The most fundamental factors are to save early and save more. No one can control interest rates or accurately predict what will happen in the stock market. What you can control is how much you invest and when you start. How much you invest is whatever you can afford. As to when you start, the best time was 10 years ago. The second best time is now. Thank you.